Once Thanos was walking around Fortnite before Avengers Infinity War, I knew that this was really big. That's when it hit me. I knew Fortnite was huge before this, but at this point I was like, oh, this might be the biggest entertainment platform in the world. Now things have changed since then, and there might not be as much hype around the game as before, but it's still massive. It continues to have some insane crossovers. I went through to find some superhero crossovers and see which ones were the best. Hello Top 10 Nerd family, I'm your host Durena, and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. Today I'm going to see which superheroes have been given the spotlight in the massive battle royale with today's list of top 10 superheroes who have appeared in Fortnite. As always nerds, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell, and stick around for the whole list because I'm going to be giving you guys my picks for the best super villain video games. And without taking any longer, let's get into this list. Coming in at number 10 we have AQUAMAN. Jason Momoa is truly a legend. The guy managed to make AQUAMAN cool. Do you guys remember how everyone talked about AQUAMAN before Jason Momoa put on the suit? Anything this guy touches will become eternally legendary. Can you simp for a dude? Is that a thing, or is this just bro love? Well, Fortnite had a whole event surrounding the muscle-bound hunk. Well, technically it was AQUAMAN, but we all know that most people want the AQUAMAN skin so they can be playing as Jason Momoa. And in theme with the nautical hero, Fortnite flooded the whole world. What? Yikes, what is that going to look like for the gameplay? Well, actually it looks pretty cool. You can water ski while being pulled by a shark. That sounds like the kind of stupid danger that I'm into. Coming in at number 9, we have rustlord. If you're a big fan of Fortnite, then you will know about the time they snuck Peter Quill into the game without Marvel giving them the okay. Now Marvel didn't drop the hammer on them, of course not, because since then they have done so many crossovers together, but rustlord was very clearly Star-Lord. They didn't give him the same name or the same helmet, but everything else about the character was pretty spot on, especially the famous jacket that he's always wearing. Rustlord is basically an alternate universe version of Star-Lord, and I wouldn't be surprised if this gets brought up in a future comic book or movie or something like that. Coming in at number 8, we have CATWOMAN. My favorite part about putting CATWOMAN on a list is you can make the argument for her being a hero or a villain. It just makes my life so much easier. But the CATWOMAN skin was for sure one of the better skins that was brought into the game. It had the classic 90s look, and that sleek spandex fit perfectly into Fortnite. God, why did I put a cat pun in here? I knew I was going to hate myself after doing a cat pun. And there have been some crossovers with a few Bat characters, and honestly I would like to see a few more. It would be cool to see what Mr. Freeze or Scarecrow would look like with a fresh coat of Fortnite paint. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another DC crossover when the new Batman movie comes to theaters. Also, what's going on with the DC cinematic universe? Well, that's a question for another list. Coming in at number 7, we have Thor, Iron Man, Hawkeye, and Captain America. 4 heroes in one point. My god, Chase, slow down a little bit. I thought we should jam all these together because the heroes themselves did not appear in the game, but their weapons did. There was a mode that came out with Avengers Endgame that would let you pick up some of the famous weapons from the MCU heroes, which in my opinion is way cooler than getting a skin or having them show up in a cameo. I want to blast away villains just like they do in the movies. There was Hawkeye's bow, there was Captain America's shield, Thor's hammer, and Iron Man's gauntlets that would let you shoot the energy blasts right out of the hands, all those ones that he is so famous for. Coming in at number 6, we have Carbide. And let's be honest, it's probably a win-win deal. You have these knockoff versions in your game, everyone starts talking about what superhero they could be in the biggest game in the world, and then you sell more tickets to your movie because there's more buzz and you didn't have to spend a penny on any advertising. Well, the word on the street was that the Carbide skin was actually Iron Man. Now the skin didn't have a lot of the classic traits that the hero is famous for. He didn't have lasers flying out of his hands like a fire hose or the ability to fly at supersonic speeds, but he did have the look. If you were diligent enough to work your way through all the Fortnite challenges for the season when the Carbide skin was the legendary skin, then you would have gotten the complete look, which was pretty much a blue and black version of Iron Man. The face was spot on as well as the body armor. I'm sure if you took the template for that skin and swapped it out for the classic Iron Man gold and red, then it would look exactly like something that Tony Stark would have in his closet. Coming in at number 5, we have Black Widow. You can never go wrong when you're doing anything with ScarJo. Having her as Black Widow was a perfect fit. And did you know she kissed Bill Murray in a movie once? But back to my point. Bringing in the Black Widow skin to Fortnite was huge as it showcased some MCU approved superheroes. but also showcased a female superhero, and we all know that gaming and comics can be pretty male dominated. The skin itself was pretty awesome. It showcased her new look from the upcoming Black Widow movie that obviously got pushed because of COVID-19. I really hope that movie doesn't come out on Disney Plus instead of theaters. I want to see it on a massive screen. Now, even though the skin had her new look, some fans were a little disappointed because the skin came out around the release of Endgame. People wanted to play the Endgame version of Black Widow. I can understand why. It was the biggest thing going on in movies at the time, and people probably wanted to experience Endgame in every possible way. Coming in at number 4, we have Batman. That's right, the Dark Knight was able to work his way into the wonderful world of Fortnite with one of the most epic skins that has ever been in the game. DC seems to have a good relationship with Fortnite, with other characters like Harley Quinn also coming in, but Harley Quinn is a supervillain, so we'll leave her for another time. Now, when I first heard about this, I have to admit I thought it was a little weird, because unless it was the Flashpoint Thomas Wayne Batman running around the Fortnite world, Batman never uses guns or kills people. But then you have to ask yourself the question, do the people in Fortnite die? So maybe they're not dead, maybe they just get transported out of the game, and maybe Batman came in to show them how to really battle royale. Coming in at number 3, we have Rey and KYLO. Some people might want to jump into the comments and argue that Jedi aren't superhero, but I won't have it. Jedi can summon lightning out of their fingertips. They can bring people back from the dead. They can pick up objects with their mind, and they have some of the best combat skills of any warrior ever. Bringing Kylo Ren and Rey into Fortnite was super cool, and the Star Wars crossover saw more than just skins, but a whole bunch of other goodies. There was a new in-game item, the lightsaber. You could hack and slash your way to victory by using the iconic Sith or Jedi weaponry, however you want to look at it. This was probably one of the coolest additions to the game ever. There was also an in-game screening for the opening moments of the most recent Star Wars movie, Rise of the Skywalker. Even though that movie was a big stinker, it's still epic to have something like that happen in a video game. Coming in at number 2, we have John Wick. Okay, is John Wick a superhero? Some will try to argue that he isn't, but come on. Each movie he has gotten more powerful, and here are just some of the crazy things that he has done. He has walked through the desert to find a single dude and didn't die from dehydration. He killed 3 dudes with a horse. He fell off a 10-story building and survived, and he killed 3 men with a pencil, as we all know. All I'm saying, if Falcon and Hawkeye are good enough to make it into the Avengers, then John Wick should for sure make the cut. When the skin was originally released, it was called the Reaper, and even though it wasn't officially a John Wick skin, everyone and their mom knew that the skin was supposed to be the unkillable assassin from the action franchise. Since then, a deal has been struck, and now there is an official John Wick skin in the game. This happened right before John Wick 3 came to theaters, which seemed to be the perfect opportunity for a cross promotion. And for the number 1 spot, we have Deadpool, probably the perfect character to come into the Fortnite universe. He loves guns, he's cartoony, and he never shuts up. The Deadpool Fortnite release was amazing, and they dedicated a whole season to the guy. There was a ton of challenges and loot that you could unlock for more and more content. You could put in a ton of time in becoming the fully decked out Deadpool. The question is, would Epic mail you a chimichanga if you were successful at unlocking every last item? I know that probably wouldn't keep well in the mail, but I think it's a great idea. They should hire me on their marketing team or something. All right, everyone, that has been our list, and as promised, I'm going to give you guys my picks for the best super villain video games. First, I have to say Prototype. I don't want to spoil anything for you by going too much into the story, but Prototype does an amazing job of making you feel like a superhero with some of the strangest bio powers I have ever seen. You can shapeshift your body into different weapons and even cover your body in armor and walk around like a tank. It's a must play for superhero game fans. Next, we have Batman Arkham Asylum, The Joker. Now, this wasn't a full game, but if you got the PS3 version of Batman Arkham Asylum, there was a whole section where you could play as the Joker. It was fun using some of the mechanics established in the franchise as the clown prince of crime. And finally, we have Destroy All Humans, one of my favorite gaming experiences of all time. You play as an alien who's come down to Earth to do, you guessed it, destroy all humans. The game has a classic Roswell 1950s motif, and it's getting a remake by THQ Nordic, which is coming out this summer, so you can bet that I'm going to be playing that. All right, everyone, that is all we have for you today. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Durena, and keep enjoying this nerdy content.